that like?
It's online. It's like they're out of the state. Like they have like a design studio person that you get paired with, and then I mean you get 3 like big like if you wanted to hang whatever y'all do. It was only like $255 for 3.
It's really good. We have, we can make, yeah, we talked a little bit about it, but you wanted to kind of make it like, we can like the hanging frames.
The buyers cut 9.
I don't mind. There's a pain in the ass to get put up and down, and they're all right.
Hi, Maria.
And then said,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
didn't
fine.
come up
And then
there,
they
right?
blow in the
It's
wind.
like,
Yeah.
you're lying.
I want the one that like, just put it in and everything's like,
Oh, that's cool. I've seen some of those. That's a cool one. I see what I saw. Maybe it's pictures.
Are you doing the Friday call that I told you about with Greater Fort Worth?
Is that this week? I accepted whatever, but yes. I
So
think
the 4th broker manager update thing
on the 11th?
on the
Or-
4th.
Pull that up. I have a video from their tax talk that they did last week. That their homestead tax update, all of that stuff that's they put on YouTube. That I'm gonna watch today. So, yeah, their legislative coffee talk. So that would be interesting.
Okay, so this is
And I just got their broker. I used to that.
the broker manager forum email. That's the one that I wanted. They said there's some updates that we need to know about. Okay. If you guys are good, Maria is here virtually, so we'll get started. Let me get over to my file and my notes of what we're going to do today. So welcome. We have a new guest with us and agent with us. This is Kristen. Kristen is joining us from
the Realm Agency.
Very good. And you have some partners that you're bringing with, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I have a couple gals. Not all of them are coming because a lot of them are based like really far away, like in Dallas and stuff like that. But I will more than likely have Megan. She's from Plano, and then my mom. She just got newly licensed, so she's a teacher right now. So she won't be, diving right in, but she can retire in 5 years. So she wants to be able to do something when she retires.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a little 30-second who you are, where you from?
Yeah, so I'm from Alvarado, and I mean I'm a Fort Worth girl, and so I just wanted somewhere where I can be more essentially Fort Worth and like actually like get my Fort Worth expertise. And I met with Tanner a couple months ago. With the timing, I was a little scared. So. And yeah, I was an apartment locator for 2 years at the Smart City, and then moved up to Realm, went to like the residential side, and just popped off, and hopefully I can just do the same thing here.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we like to say we lock arms and we run together. That's kind of our philosophy, our culture, how we do things. So we hope that you feel that. And as you get ingrained in our culture, that you'll feel free to reach out to Danielle and ask her any question.
Yeah. Right when she gets started
In the next month.
Yeah,
Yes.
in 2 weeks for sure.
Yes.
Like,
Oh,
I'll
and
leave you
yeah.
where you get, like,
Exclusively doing that. Please. Honestly, I'll probably be calling. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
What are we doing? What's happening?
I absolutely expect to get my call. What's one?
What's happening?
Yeah. And then you can pop on virtually always. So if
Yeah.
your people, they can, Maria's joining us probably from her house.
Yeah,
And what she normally does is she drives and watches us in the car.
yeah.
And
I'll
then-
always be a person.
Yeah,
I live by Clearport. I'm close.
Oh, you're close.
And I miss like our office was like by North Park, and so I would still try to go to things, but it's so far. So I'll be here.
Very good. Well, we look forward to having you
Yeah,
in our trainings and things that we do.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Fun fact related to Sean.
Yeah. Yeah, I've met y'all like when he did that, new construction tour when he was going through like Weatherford and stuff like that, and some of the girls I met. So I was like, this kind of looks like fun. Maybe I'll join some.
We try to have a lot of fun.
It was like that was a good day.
That was a great day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
So
Tiring at the end of it when we had to walk to
it's
that.
so hot.
It was hot.
Can you imagine doing that like now?
Oh, no way. Okay. So as always, we always start our meetings with a core value. I'm sorry.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Pay attention. Yeah. Right. There you go.
No multitasking. I'm kidding. We all multitask. Okay. So our core value today is we value people and principles over We make decisions based on our principles and serving our client, not just maximizing profit. In the end, it's about accomplishing our bigger mission, not making a quick buck at the expense of people. I run into this all the time where I have the opportunity to steer a client a certain way for a buck here or a buck there, but it's about it's about serving them the best way in their interests. Our spouses sometimes don't understand I don't want to say Hippocratic oath,
Yeah.
but the oath that we all took when we became realtors of putting somebody else's needs, desires, and best interest ahead of our own. And a lot of times on Saturday, that looks like you leaving your family to go show a house that you really don't want to go do. How many times have we done that?
I mean, a fair amount.
Right. Through the years.
Time or two.
So, but it's not just about our clients. It's also about us as realtors. It's about making margin for our family, for our faith, for our friends, and having that balance. And, you know, Brian Buffini talks about balance. This is what balance looks like, because you're never, ever this way. This is not balance. It's only that way on a table. But in life, sometimes it's about business, and sometimes it's about friends, and sometimes it's about brokerage, and sometimes it's about business, and it's that constant moving. So I just want you to know that if you ever have that feeling in your heart about how do I make time for this, that's normal. As a new agent, Gracie, it's normal to get all this stuff coming at you, and the way that you deal with it is one thing at a time. That's all you can do. So that's our core value for today. We are going to, and let me go back here to my last thing I'm going to talk about. So talk about July. Closings. We had a pretty good month. 22.
Yeah.
Closings. Angela had one. We'll start with Parker County since they're our favorites.
Yeah.
Sarcasm.
I'm just giving Tasha a hard time today.
We have a long history. In fact, I was sitting in
Oh,
picture
gosh.
yesterday.
I'll show it at the end.
Okay. So Angela had a closing in July. Susan had one. Holly had one, and Tasha had one.
No,
Okay.
good.
Good month. That's a good square, balanced month, right? Okay. So let's talk about Fort Worth. Jana had two. So yay, Jana. Maria Gonzalez had two closings. Yay. Danielle, big winner along with Kevin, but she had three.
Yeah.
You did?
One of them got pushed. We're not
One
going
of
to
them
about
got
that.
Did it? Did it push to
That's a
August?
crazy guy.
Crazy got pushed to the day.
Allegedly.
I think we're all gonna go to that closing.
Oh my
Except
gosh.
for me. Because I might be physically and verbally assaulted.
Wow.
That's true. That's very
So,
true.
okay, so that's in August. So you
It's
did
out,
two?
so I did two.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have 3 hours.
Andrew had a closing. Yay.
First one here. Yeah.
First one here.
Small one.
Yeah.
It
Um,
doesn't beat the record.
No. What was the record?
12.5.
12,000.
That was about, okay, that was like nice.
A lot.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
We,
something
we
like-
always try to celebrate the lowest.
At the Christmas party, we'll bring out who did the biggest and who did the smallest.
The
For
biggest
sure.
trophy goes
Yeah.
to the smallest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Kevin had 3 closings. Kelsey had 2. Ray had 1, and Gabby had 1. And Gabby is on her way back, probably having jet lag from
Ah.
being in Europe. And in conclusion, I'm just kidding.
You blame that on the check.
I understand. Okay, so you all should have received the email, and you'll start getting the email on Sunday night. I send out at about 7:00 what's coming up for the week and the following week. So you see it on your calendar, but then you see it in email, so you know. Photo shoot is next Thursday, the 10th. And if you were assigned a time slot, please pay attention that we're pretty precise on the time slots. They have about 8 minutes scheduled for you to take pictures. Be there. If you want more pictures, like Danielle, I think you signed up. Did you sign up for something?
I'm in.
Okay, there's a
I'm just
sign up
gonna
sheet
work
in
on
the
it.
email. You'll be getting, we need to
Yeah,
make
I
room for
already
her.
added her on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a closing that day, so I'll just have to see. But again, it's a psychotic deal, so let's not count on that.
take my trophy.
Wait one out.
Take my crown,
Yeah.
please.
No,
Angela was taking it, man. I thought she had
we've
it.
been under contract for 2 years.
The crown is
To
hers.
Toll Brothers house.
Oh,
Okay.
I had one of those, and then my clients ended up buying
That
the
doesn't
house.
cost me.
Yeah, well, and in the finance, it's hard to see your finance. So that's what I'm doing. So maybe if I can, yes.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of, just a small note on that is like, and this, I'll email, send out email or Slack about it, but if you guys feel like this is the opportunity to get content. Like, Emily will be there with a mic, and like you've seen the videos that we do, like where I'm kind of sitting around talking about a topic. If you have a couple topics you want to come in and get content around, or just get some like post photos, some non-post photos, like this is the opportunity, and people will miss out on this. Like there will be people the week after that call me or Brian and are like, hey, when are we doing a photo shoot? And it's going to be their fault because they weren't paying attention. They've been notified. Everybody's been notified. So take advantage of this. Like my encouragement to you guys that are here is go to your favorite 5 Instagram people follow that are Instagram real estate people, steal their video idea and write a quick script and plan to come and shoot 2 videos that you're going to post, or two, and you can do high quality ones with the mic and stuff. And then you can kind of go to the side and do one with good lighting where you're holding yourself. But this is a really good day to bulk get some content. Like if you're executing well, you can leave with 3 or 4 videos. So start thinking about that strategically. You guys, like, this is a really good opportunity for y'all. You old folks, you already know.
Wait, what?
Old OGs.
He called us old again.
I,
He always
you
calls
OGs.
me
I mean,
old.
Danielle was in that too. Gracie too. So old and been here.
Already?
Yeah. So you're an OG.
It's mature.
Mature. Yeah.
Yeah.
Experience. Experience is how you say it.
Tenured is a good word.
6th Ave thus far. Here in.
So today at 11:30, Sean Russell will be here. Family, Kristen, and we're just going to have that roundtable we had last time, mastermind with Sean. What's going on in the market? What he sees coming. It's always great information, great forecasting and prognosticating from him. The mastermind series, we're going to talk about that. So you've noticed on the calendar it says office hours. We're going to change that now moving forward. It's not going to be office hours. It's going to be mastermind. We're going to bring an idea in and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. What's your experience? What do you suggest? You may ask questions of us and we can do things, but it's open to everybody. But it'll be a mastermind on the Wednesday office meeting at 10 o'clock, except for the first agent Wednesday meeting, which that's this one.
And I mean, with summer, participation and attendance is different, especially with school coming out. But two things that we wanted to solve with that meeting rhythm is we've got 100 Days of Greatness and Pathway to Mastery going. So we've got a lot of classes, a lot of like very intentional learning, and then wanted to keep this rhythm, keep this space going, but more of like come in and let's get kind of like what's the need going on right now, and maybe add some themes in. We talked about crafting our narrative for next spring. Now, starting to have those conversations today, that would be some of the stuff that we start talking about. And then, if there's 2 people that show up, somebody wants to deep dive, reach out, learn how to do something, or write out a flow, write out campaigns, pull info from all the farming stuff that we have are available. Like we can do those things too. So I think that those days will be a good balance between Pathway to Mastery and 100 Days of Greatness.
Very good. Name badges are in. Andrew, you got yours, but I'm going to have it reprinted. I'll have that to you as soon as I get it ordered. Mina, Jana, and Maria. Maria, I've got a badge here for you. So, and a piece of mail from some brokerage. So, she just signed off. She probably is walking in the door. That's what she usually does. September is Realtor Safety Month. And so you may have seen an email go out with, I think everybody here has done it except for Danielle. Maria's back. That's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, that's okay. Your name badge is in. Just to let you know, and there's a piece of mail here for you at the office.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Okay, I figured. So again, September Safety Month, we're going to run during those masterminds. We'll probably run a short safety video, some things that I found. But right now we've got the emergency contact list out in email. That's a Google form. If you haven't filled it out online, virtual people, please do so when you get a chance. That's just in case we had to have your spouse or significant other or mom or dad. It's just gives us another outlet to help find where you are if need be. That's everything. So this is I sent out an email to the last couple of people with 100 Days to Greatness. This is my last, I'm not going to talk about it anymore after today, But 100 Days to Greatness, sign up. We've got 2 weeks from today and we start. So if you're going to get your books on time, now is the time to sign up. And you've seen the link in Slack and an email, please do so. Pathway to Mastery people. We got the link this morning. Actually got it last week, but I've been holding on to it for Pathway to Mastery, and we will be able to execute that today. So I'll do that this afternoon, and I'll send it out in the Slack channel so that you can do the sign up. That is everything that I have in meeting wise. Did we have questions, things that we need to discuss, anything like that?
I have a couple of things. I have lessons. I think I got a good lesson case study to talk about in less. So I had that and a couple few things to talk about. But if anybody has like a problem that they're facing right now, they want to try to solve, now's a good time. Anybody have problems? I'll talk to you.
Like life problems or work problems?
We do live too.
Question.
Okay,
Absolutely
great.
great clarifying question. Because we do both. Let's do some work for right now. Yeah, like a transaction deal, listing deal. But great. We have had some tears. Tears of the chest. Well, okay, so Danielle, queen of chaos.
I
of all
really
things
am
chaos.
shocked that someone would even compare to me in that.
Yeah, Tasha.
You know, we
honestly,
talk in that sometimes now.
Yeah.
I was like, they're really not gonna like that we talk.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm glad y'all talked. When you responded like, hey, I talked, like we talked, I was like, she's been coached. Like someone who's been through
It was
this.
like, Karen's like, wait, y'all showed up at his house?
Yeah. I literally,
No,
I mean, this
right.
guy was, yeah. He has now moved to California. No, I got off the phone call. Here's the situation, and I think there's a couple big lessons. But Danielle been dealing with this client for a while. From Danielle, what everything Danielle's communicating sounds like a crazy client, but there's different levels of crazy. And 1 week she came in and was like, hey, this guy just like is buying a house without me in Temple through a home builder, and the home builder's trying to cut me out. What do I do? We kind of worked through that. Ended up, Daniel's going to end up stepping out of that part of the transaction. And then things came to a head last week, and she was like, I cannot physically be on the phone with this man again. He's cussing me out. He's doing else. He's psychopath. And from a leadership perspective, you're like, okay, maybe Danielle's being a little bit dramatic. Like, let's see. But Danielle's action plan was like, let me ask for help on Slack. And then people jumped in. But then it's like, hey, I need to escalate this. Can someone else take this over? And I think that's one thing that's unique about our brokerage, of where like leaders and peers like have the opportunity to ask for help, and even like, hey, can someone step in and be a barrier between me and this psychopath? And sure enough, I hopped on the phone with the guy. I was like, yes, I'll jump in. Like you've got other things going on. And jumped on the phone with him, and like literally got off of the phone. I've had a lot of these conversations, and I was shaken up. Like I was physically shaken up from this guy's tone and like the stuff that he was saying, the way that he was saying. I was like, I immediately went to my social profiles, and I was like, I turned them all private because like I don't want this guy to know anything about me. That kind of like I'm afraid of
Why?
stuff.
What the heck?
He was in prison stint.
Yeah.
So
The drug
he just
addict.
so he just like is manic.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'd say he's manic. He's married. He's an older guy. He's married. They own a $300,000 house, and I think he holds a job right now. $360,000 house.
Was he mad about something in the process, or
Oh,
did
yeah,
he just
just-
everything?
but like not.
Yeah, but there was nothing happened.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Like all the boxes were checked.
Yeah.
It was just
Like we got,
irrational.
we listed at 365. We got him under contract at 360 with like in half of the average days on market. Like we got him all this stuff, and like seems like a win, but then because he's not all there, just like made all these choices that then put himself in a bind. But that obviously is everybody else's fault.
He stopped paying some bills.
Yeah, like,
He
didn't
made
pay
some
his car
purchases.
payment.
Yeah.
So that must be financing.
Well, it
Well,
messed with
that's
financing,
wrong.
but also he was closing was supposed to be on
Last
Monday. It got pushed to Friday, and then they needed to push again because the lender screwed it up. Now, regardless of how factual Danielle was talking to him, he could not comprehend it. He would pick up one thing, stop listening, and then and he did the same thing with me. And so in that event, I just like I lied to him. Just straight up. I told him I was like, hey, son's sick. And I'm not gonna be stepping away from my family to take phone calls. And then from then, like from the first call in this event was I used a Google Voice number because like if things go really bad with this person, I want to just be able to shut things down. And then I'm only gonna text him. And if he asks about that, I'm gonna, I created a little bit of buffer because there's a lot of chaos on Thursday and Friday. And then only like with this type of client, literally only text, very factual, very easy to read, and leaving. And I think this is the most important thing, and most of us get this wrong, is responding that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like I would leave 5-6 hours before responses on things that weren't necessary for an immediate response, right? And justification for this is like the best our fiduciary duty in this event is to help him go after the goal that he wants, which is selling his house, and him making decisions in the moment and me feeding that fire is not going to help that thing. And so like there's one takeaway from this lesson is it's in that event where people are combative and like having trouble with comprehension, all that sort of stuff. Email text very specifically, leave them on red for a long time so they have time to go through the escalations of emotions and back down, because that was one of the trends that we had talked about. Like he would freak out, blow up, 3 or 4 hours would go by, and he only apologized a little bit, but he would kind of come back and apologize. He had a trend to do that. So just trying to get into his
with me,
mindset.
after I talked to Tasha, I was like, what about, and she was like, you need to stop talking on the phone, so everything in writing. And I tried that. I put it in an email. And the next day he called me like 3 or 4 times and then continued to text me like questions. And I literally said, I'm not available to talk on the phone right now. Please respond to my email. I think I said that 6 times. And it's still just, I don't know how to respond to an email. What? Like,
Oh, super cute.
Megan.
so just, I think also like being able to ask for help. Like, I tried a couple weeks ago and then was like, you know what, I can figure this out.
Yeah.
And then just like knowing that, that's what I told them. I was like, I'm not going to maintain a professional attitude if I have to speak to this person again. Like, I will get nasty.
Yeah.
Well, I think just a couple of things. A good speech that I think I heard a long time ago from a broker was, so many times when we are in transactions, we take on things that are really out of our wheelhouse, and we advise out of our wheelhouse. And it's kind of like her analogy was like, take that monkey off your back. Like if you are, showing houses, writing contracts, negotiating repairs, like sometimes we get too far into the weeds with our clients and it actually causes more drama. And just having the knee-jerk response that we should always be at somebody else's beck and call. It's not like you call your doctor and you're like, I got a sniffle, and they're like, oh my God, let me call Tasha. It doesn't work that way. And so, but we do that. We position ourselves and we cause a lot of stress and anxiety. I think is probably undue.
Yes.
And I think another thing is, and I will just say this from a perspective of doing business long enough. I act like a real tough girl. I can talk the talk, I can walk the walk, but sometimes when you're dealing with males, especially older males, sometimes for them to have a call from Brian totally will de-escalate the situation, because they're going to talk big to me and they're going to talk down to me and they're going to try to belittle me when things get tough. I understand the psychological response behind it. I'm like, dude, like, don't be mad at me. Like, but, and I wish that it didn't react that way in the business world, but just too many times I've had some older male being like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I do, but thanks for, trying to throw that out and belittle me, but I'm not going to break. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it off to my superior or another male at my brokerage, and he's going to be like, no, that's absolutely how I would have responded.
Yeah.
And so it's unfortunate. I don't know that you'll ever level the world of that, but then of course you got your Karens out there that as well. But I do sometimes, I think you just have to kind of like stop communicating. And I think it was like a lesson that Mary Ruth Reeves taught me at Remax, is like when things get heated in a transaction, whether it's an agent, appraiser, client, or whatever, let it hit voicemail.
Yeah.
Give it a couple hours because you're going to respond better once you've thought it through and you've written some notes or you've, called a peer and said, hey, like, what do you think about this? Am I crazy? Because I mean, I can be a hothead.
Uh-huh.
I mean, sometimes. I think all the best people are.
See? I like her already.
I know.
We're going to talk after.
I enjoyed the day we got to spend together. That's why we were talking about 6th Ave, and that was a really cool day.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I mean, and now that we kind of cut to, we're in a situation today where they closed on Friday. They said now they told us they're going to close today, and we're doing all the work we can behind the scenes to try to light a fire under a lender that, I mean, it easily was like in the top 3 of most incompetent people that I've seen handle a transaction. So it's a nightmare of a deal. Sometimes, and I've shared that with the seller. So now we kind of have a common enemy that we're working against too. That's kind of at least brought us together in some ways, but still texting. I will not be talking to them on the phone. So broadly speaking, a lot of things to learn here, but big picture, like ask for help. And that's not just like ladies ask for help. That's dudes give a call to a lady. Like it's ungendered. And likewise, like feel free to err on the side of caution. Things even if water starts getting murky and you just need 15 minutes of processing after you've had an hour of space between that situation, because one of our core values is we're problem solvers. Like always going to try to bring solutions every time that we can. Like think through some solutions, bring some solutions, come to that call with some solutions, not just problems. Or like no one here is going to spoon feed you. Like this is an elementary school, but like take some attempts, come back with the report of those attempts and maybe some solutions, and then like look for the nuance that your peer or subject matter expert or Brian or myself brings to the table. So I think that's a good, we're currently in that event right now. Lesson for everybody on the team.
I think that's just a good rule of thumb. I mean, not that you don't know, but I've had one client in Denver custody. It was during a walk through D.R. Hurt, and she was really mad at D.R. Hurt, and she started F-bombing me, and I simply looked at her and I was like, I will not be spoken to like that way. I was like, you can show up to closing by yourself. I'm going to walk out here and let you collect yourself, and then you can come and apologize to me.
Yeah.
And she pulled it together real quick because it's like, don't allow people to do that.
Well, and that was part of what kind of was happening. Was it was a combination of like I set the boundary of like this is not okay, and then it was I'm so sorry, sweetie. You're so sweet. You're such a nice. It was a girl. It's like an acquaintance's dad.
Yeah.
That like they're estranged basically. That didn't love that part out. But
That would have been a good deal.
yeah, and then my dad knows like the ex-wife and her current husband. And I told my dad about the referral. He's like, oh, okay. And then I talked to him about it. I was like, Dad, he's insane. He goes, oh yeah, I thought I told you that.
No, you
You
didn't.
left that part out, Lou. Like, he was like, he's been in and out of prison and like a drug addict. I was like, what was he in prison for? He said drugs. So I was like,
Lots
great.
of drugs.
He's still
Great. Yeah, he has not stopped that.
Right.
But it was that condescending, like, you're so sweet, you're so great, you've been so good, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm good at my job.
Right.
You're insane, not.
Yeah, it's not a good
like,
thing. Yeah.
and I'm open to it being anything. Oftentimes it is, but in this situation, it just.
Well, if y'all don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video so that we put it up there. We can continue the conversation, but I just want to say thank you for watching, and that's all.
My favorite.
Like to subscribe, follow the link, everybody.
Press the bell in the top corner so you don't miss
See you in a